Hello friends, in this video I'll tell you all about React JSX. So JSX can be broken down into JavaScript extension. So basically it is an extension to JavaScript and it is used to embed HTML-like syntax into JavaScript code. So we can use basically JSX in HTML tags like div, h1, paragraph, etc. in JSX. So it basically compiles pure JavaScript code and calls it in a React create component function call. So JSX HTML has three parts: tag name, attributes, and children. So basically, it consists of these three parts only. So basically, JSX makes your code a lot cleaner and simpler. So over here, I've created a functional component, and in that I've rendered React create element. So first we'll specify the element, then we'll specify the properties, and then we'll specify the content of the element. So over here, the element is a div, and the content is hello Abhikya. So we can see hello Abhikya. So over here we can see that we have rendered a react.create element. So now when I'll render this in an app, I call this an app.js, and now I'm just importing it at the top and then calling it inside the return keyword. So now when I go to the browser, I can see the h1, the content in the div, and the content is hello Abhikya. Now what we want to do is that we want to add a an h1 tag and embed this hello Abhikya text into h1 tag. Now for that what we'll do, first attempt, we'll make a first attempt. So basically we'll create an h1 tag inside the text. So in the text we'll create open an h1 tag and then close an h1 tag. Now let's see what comes in the browser. So in the browser, this whole thing behaves as a string, and the whole thing string is being displayed on the browser. But this is not how we wanted. So now let's go to another approach. So in this case, we have created another parameter, and this is the h1 tag. After that, we've written the text which will come inside this h1 tag. So now let's see how the output is shown. So over here, the output is still not like we want. The h1 is appended in front of hello. So now let's try for another approach. So in this approach, what we are doing is we are calling another react.create element inside the first one. So inside this create element, we are defining another element which is h1 tag, and inside that the text is being displayed. Now when we'll run the code, you can see hello Bikya in bold because it is in HTML in h1 tag. So basically, each JSX element is a syntactic sugar for calling the react.create element. So up till now, we can clearly see that JSX is very simpler to write compared to the create element. So that is why we use JSX, otherwise the code becomes very lengthy. So just to specify another element, we have to pass a react.create element inside another one, so it becomes very complicated. That is why we use JSX. So let's discuss more about JSX. Basically, what we can use expressions in JSX. So React expressions can easily be embedded in JSX, and we just need to use curly braces for that. So inside that, we'll wrap the variable. So over here, you can see I've declared a constant name, and then inside an h1 tag, I've displayed the name. Hello, Abhikyashi. The second example, we can specify attributes. So for example, we have an image. So in the src attribute, we can pass the name, username. So we can also specify attributes in JSX. So another main thing to remember in JSX is that all the HTML code has to be wrapped in a top level element. Otherwise, it will throw an error. So for that, we can use two methods. First, we can use a parent element called a div tag. So we have enclosed both the paragraphs inside a div tag. And an alternate method which we can use is to use the fragment. We use a fragment to wrap multiple lines. So this will prevent adding unnecessarily extra DOM nodes to the JSX content. So over here, I've this fragment is basically an opening and closing tag element tag. So it is basically like a div tag, but it is empty. It is only an opening and closing sign. So that's it for today, guys.